Hello. I wanted to hop on because there's some really incredible insights that I've had in the last few months, and I've been teaching them in my coaching sessions and in my gratitude challenge and in my mastermind. And I really wanted to just share this with you because there's two things in life that cause a lot of suffering. One is a lack of physical energy, and one is a cycling of thoughts of a spinning in our minds and a state of suffering within our own minds. And so I wanted to first address the physical energy drain because I had some people at my house the other day and they were talking about their businesses, and one of the guys was saying that his multi-million dollar business had kind of come crashing down, and the other gentleman just turned to him and said, "Oh, where were you out of integrity?" And I've learned just through Landmark and through other things that I've studied is they say that when you feel a drain of energy, or if there's a sudden drain of resources, it's because there's a lack of integrity. And the way that I see integrity isn't this right and wrong, evil, good kind of thing. It's just a fundamental workability of your life. And I kind of see it like a bicycle tire. And the integrity of a bicycle tire is that the wheels and the spokes of the wheel are all working properly, right? And when you say that you're going to do something and then don't do it, then it's almost like a spoke of the wheel comes out of the bike. And if it's something really big and you say you're gonna, you know, show up somewhere or do a deal and then you just back out last minute, and if that kind of thing, then it's like your tire went out. And it's kind of like when you're riding a bike and the tires are working and the spokes are all working, then it's easy to ride. In fact, it's probably 10 times easier than walking or running. But when the tire isn't blown up, or when their spokes aren't working and the tires aren't working, it's almost like it's way harder than just walking to have the bike with you. And so that's like when you simply just don't do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. So when you feel an energy drain, just look at your life and go, "Huh, where am I lacking integrity?" And then step back and into integrity. Now, just because I know this concept doesn't mean that I'm in integrity all the time. Sometimes I'm just not able to show up, or sometimes I have to change plans, or sometimes I'm late. And the important thing is that you just learn how to clean up your mess, how to get back into integrity as soon as possible. And so, in my courses, in my training, in my communication patterns that I teach and support people with, then in my programs, this is a huge part of it. Is how do you clean up the a lack of integrity? And there are communication patterns that really work for that. But I just have a quick story around this because when I first joined Landmark, I we had these classes and these meetings, and at the beginning, we had a regular meeting at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and so I would hop on, but I had to finish up dinner and the kids needed something, and so I would hop on at like 5:02 or 5:05, and the the meeting leader would be like, "Hey, Paige, you said you'd be here at 5 o'clock, and you're here at 5:02." And I'd be like, "Yeah, it's basically 5 o'clock." And they're like, "No, your word was that you'd be here at 5 o'clock." And we'd spend like 10 minutes cleaning up the fact that I was 2 minutes late. And I thought this was just absolutely insane. And so I was kind of resistant to it. And then a part of the course was there was a 10-week course, and you had to commit to doing 8 of them in person. And it was before COVID, so everything was in person. But I had to be there, and so that was my word. But about halfway through, an opportunity to go on this entrepreneurial cruise came up. It was a really amazing opportunity. I really wanted to go, and so I talked to my coach, and they said, "Well, just make sure that you figure out how to still attend a course." And I thought, "Well, that's kind of tricky because I'll be in the Bahamas and it's in Salt Lake." But we figured out that there was a course that was in New York, but I'd have to get off the cruise early, so I did. I got off the cruise early, I flew into Miami, but as soon as by the time I got to Miami, there was this huge storm, and I couldn't get to New York. So I get on the call with my coach and I say, I can't get to the course. I guess I just didn't make it. I didn't complete the course. I go, well, there's got to be a way. There's always a way to stay in integrity. And so I found a flight to Vancouver where there was a course the next day. I flew from Miami to Vancouver. I took a bus and a train and I got there. I was a little bit late, but I got there and I completed the course. And from that time, I got it. I got the fact that my life simply works when I keep my word, when I have integrity, when I do what I say I'm going to do, when I say I'm going to do it. And when I am with people or looking at doing business with people or in relationship with someone and they don't do what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it and they don't communicate around it, it just simply doesn't work. I can love them. I can think they're amazing. I think they can think all the things, but if they simply just don't do what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it, I just can't do business with them or I can't do life with them. And so that's the first part. And that's like a huge hack in life. And I just want to share that because it's been so impactful in my life and in the lives of my clients. So then the next part is this idea of suffering. And so when we look at success, there's kind of two parts. There's the success, in the triple package, she defines success as money, right? I'm getting what I want. And basically, integrity is the answer for that. If you want to make money, have integrity. It's going to help you along that way and you will be successful. But there's another part. What if you can totally keep your word? You can you can have total integrity, but you can be unhappy. You can not have the relationships or the connections or just the joy that you want to have. And so success to me is physical success, monetary, um, social, all those things. But it's really fulfillment is the second part. And so, how can you have fulfillment? How can you have joy? And when you notice that you're not in fulfillment or joy, you're in some state of suffering. And so, what is suffering? There's a lot of different definitions. It could be sickness, it could be illness, it could be someone hurt you, someone and all of those actually are outward focused. They're all saying that person hurt me, that person did something to me, that food made me sick. But all of that has an element of victimhood to it, right? It's I am experiencing this because of some outward thing. But if we really tune in and recognize what really causes it, what is happening within your mind is actually what's causing the suffering because someone could be extremely hungry and still be happy. Someone can be injured and still be in joy and not suffering. Someone can be alone and not be in suffering. Someone can be divorced or in a marriage and not be in suffering. So what is it? And what I found is it's a cycling of thoughts, of negative thoughts. Suffering is where you keep revolving around the same thing over and over and over and you can't get out of it, right? Oh my gosh, I'm so hurt. This is a great example. I broke 5 ribs, a few years back, and I could have gone into massive amounts of suffering around it. Oh my gosh. Oh, it hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. Oh my gosh. It's so awful that that happened to me. I can't believe that person did that. I can't believe I was so dumb to do that. I was kite surfing. I can't believe that he could have not thought that through. Da da da, right? And so you can be in this thought pattern of cycling thoughts of making everything wrong. But instead, I fell. I thought I was paralyzed when I came to. And when I realized I wasn't paralyzed, I was so happy that I was like floating for 2 weeks. I was in the hospital going, "Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you. This is so great. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful I'm not paralyzed." I'm sitting next to the lake and I'm not having to cook for 20 people that summer and the kids are all running around and I'm so grateful that I can just sit here and enjoy these kids and if I want I can get up because I'm not paralyzed, right? And so, what if you're able to experience a new way of thinking by coming out of this thought pattern that's causing the suffering. And so how do you do that? And I have a formula called the R cubed, and it's just the formula for escaping suffering. And the first part is to recognize that you are in suffering, recognize that this isn't working, recognize what's going wrong. And so you first have to just recognize, oh, I'm not in love, I'm not in peace, I'm not in joy, and so I'm in suffering. And what is the cycling thought? So you recognize it. And then you simply just release it. You let it go. But once you let something go, there's a void and you have to replace it. And so what do you replace it with? How do you come out of suffering, and what would you replace a suffering, revolving, negative thought pattern with? And the answer is gratitude. Gratitude is the secret sauce of life. Gratitude is the magic of the universe. I think it's the answer to relationship problems. It's the answer to coming out of suffering in general. But you start going into the gratitude. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I'm so grateful that I'm not paralyzed. I'm so grateful that I live in this amazing democracy of freedom. I'm so grateful for whatever it is. We can focus on what's wrong or we can focus on what's right. And here's the secret sauce. Here's taking it to the whole nother level. It's adding the word because. It's saying, I'm so grateful for whatever's happening because. And then going into the juiciness of all the reasons, letting your mind fall, even difficult things. It's divorce, right? Oh my gosh, I could go into so much suffering of the revolving thoughts of making him wrong, making him feeling like the victim, right? Or I can go into, wow, I'm so grateful for the 10 years that we had. I'm so grateful for the way that he's showing up for the kids. I'm so grateful because I have such a beautiful life right now. I'm so grateful for the way that he showed up during the divorce because he didn't make me wrong, because he took responsibility, because he, right? As I go into that, it's like, oh yeah, I can see the good. And how much better of an experience can I have? And then at the end, you say two of the most powerful words on the planet: thank you, thank you, thank you. You say it once, and it feels like, thank you. Second time is like, oh yeah, I really mean it. Thank you. The third time is like, blasts you off. Thank you. Ah! So, if you find yourself in suffering, if you find yourself in an energy drain, just step into integrity, step into gratitude, and you will have a completely different experience of yourself, and you will spiral up into a life that you love. And I wanted to share that with you today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of my world. If you would like to hop onto a call, learn more about the programs that I have, the coaching that I do, I invite you to go to schedulewithpaige.com and check it out. And thank you again. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.